Yay, I'm live. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I found a way to resolve the issue that I've been having with my phone in terms of the microphone and the camera. So it's just going to be easier for me to go live right now. I wanted to do I think I want to do this as like a series. So I really have learned a lot in this past year and a third or a quarter. And like I said, I have made a lot of notes and I just feel like they need to be broken down a little bit. So this is an extension of, will be an extension of what we spoke about yesterday. So I also wanted to share that the what I was speaking about, the nervous system, the part that I forgot about was the nervous system is the from the brain all the way into the spine. So that is what controls the way that you react and respond to things. So what had been helpful for me was finding methods on there's something called like cosmic transcendental meditation, where you basically focus on different parts of your spine to activate the energy. So that was really good for me. Okay, so number one for today is that opposites are okay. This is something that I've learned and that has been very useful. Imagine like what I mean by opposites are okay. So imagine that you are in a situation that you really don't want, or a situation that you really aren't enjoying, but you just feel so stuck in that um, situation. So I, for example, I don't enjoy where I live, but you revel in this sense of that you're not enjoying it and you're not opening up to receiving something that you would enjoy, or embracing ideas that would be preferable for you. You stay in this like room of, I'm not liking this, I'm not liking this, I don't enjoy this. And you create this like pressure against it. So a really good example that I just thought about was, imagine like a full moon. When it's a full moon, there is a lot of pressure, and we feel it in our bodies and nature reacts to it. So the oceans, they draw out and they create a lot of pressure. And when it's a new moon, the oceans are swelling, they draw forward. So imagine like when we have this essence, this feeling of like, I really don't like this, I don't want this situation, I am not feeling this, I'm don't want to be here, I don't have enough. Just imagine that you're pulling so tightly onto it that it creates a this easiness about it. And what we want to create is a neutral. We want to create a neutral energy about it. So I mean, like being at peace with not liking where you're at or not liking the situation. So you're not creating angst and pressure inside of your body. And I know you know what I'm talking about, because we start to get panicky. We start to feel that draw, that like pull, something is pulling you down, something is changing up your energy in a way that doesn't feel good. So we acknowledge that. And then we, like I spoke about in the previous um, video, was finding ways to calm your nervous system down so that you can move forward and find solutions and create something. That has been really pivotal to understand. This is like being okay with opposites. So I had this have and society has this fascination with being having a lot of money. And while that's good and well, there are many times in my experience that I haven't had a lot of money and I really, really want to. But for some reason, in certain timelines, like I found myself heavily without. And what I had done was like feel so terrible about it. that what that does is that it actually creates an energy around me that only draws that in. So it's almost like it is our responsibility to, it's okay to feel that energy, but we have to see ourselves as like an energetic tornado or a storm, and whatever is going on inside the storm and the energy, the wind around it is going to draw more of that thing in. So it's also part of being conscious about your current energy, and that your current energy is drawing that same things and like things to you. And so first of all, feeling a discomfort with something that is unwanted, and understanding that you have to make it a neutral thing. You need to be like, okay, I don't like this, and it's okay for me to experience the opposite. We need the dark, we need the light, we need the opposite, so we can choose which one that we prefer. And a good way for me was being okay with being in an opposite energy, because otherwise I was going to create an energy that's going to snowball even worse than what my experience was presently. Um, so the ways that I have been able to do that as a solution is just like, just not seeing one thing as superior to another, but rather one thing is wanted than the other. So, like I said, we have to have opposites. We have rich, we have poor, we have high, we have low, we have um, angry, we have excited, like we have all of those there, and none of them are better than the other, but we do have a preference based on the way that one makes us feel, because we're only leaning towards preferences based on the way that it makes us feel. We like to be around people that make us feel good, even though maybe we don't choose to because it's not familiar. But deep down, we want to be surrounded by things and people that cause us to feel good in our energy, even though they and those things aren't responsible for it. It's basically the generation of our own energy that makes us choose things or that draws things to us. So we have to be in a neutral state of opposites. I don't know if there is like a particular exercise that I've done around this to um let me have a think. I think what I had done was like I wrote down different opposites, and I wrote down like I also thought about the way that each one made me feel. And often I am saying this one is bad and this one is good, and this one is bad and this one is good. And when I am not in this one, I feel horrible. And this is not the way to go around it. This is what is causing us to be in a sense of dis-ease. So the point is to be in a neutral state, to become easy and allow the current to still flow through you, allow energy to still flow through you, and then to put yourself in a spot where you can then choose your preferred outcome or your preferred energy, rather than saying this one is better than this. I don't like to be here, because then you create that draw, you create that pressure that, oh, I don't like it. That one's really horrible. I can't be there. And you start telling yourself weird stuff. So opposites are okay. Create a neutral balance towards things, and then you are at a level where you can make a choice towards something that you would prefer. And that is it. So the next point that I wanted to make was about your health. I have always considered myself as like someone that is interested in health. And health is something that externally we can read about, within science and nutrition, and what people tell us health is. So that has been one way. But the new way of health that I had discovered in this past year and a bit was that your body, your vessel, your spirit will tell you what is healthy for you and what is not healthy for you if you ask it what it wants. And I have actually kind of known this for a few years, but I didn't realize that I was doing it because I realized that I was making choices with my health that other people weren't. And I didn't really understand why. Like, I would cut things out or I would include things that I didn't really have a reasoning behind it. It's just what felt good for my body. And you're going to find a lot of people that are going to tell you to do this, tell you to do that. That's good for you. That's not good for you. But those people don't know you and they don't know your body. So being interested in health leads to a greater life. We're all here because we're healthy enough to be alive. And so the way that we live our best life is by maintaining a certain level of health, which equals a certain level of comfort. So when you're healthy, when your body is healthy and well, you can wake up in the morning, you're in no pain or less pain. You feel full, you feel like a fullness of life, you feel vivacious, you know that fluctuates of course, but what I'm saying is that health, you have to be interested in health and nutrition, or interested in what you consume, what you're eating, and taking care of yourself. So for me, in this past year and a bit, I've realized that a really big part was missing was like exercise. I had been doing yoga for a little while, for like over a year, like consistently, like almost daily, because I had a yoga studio around the corner from me. And I stopped going because like I didn't like it there anymore. And actually, like 2 months later, they closed down. So I think I kind of got a certain energy. And then after that, I found myself like not really knowing where to go to yoga, and then not really being totally happy about doing yoga at home, and just kind of like wishy-washy kind of doing it. But then I started to make sure that I got outside every single morning. So now I have a morning routine when I'm home to go out every morning or as often as I can. Pretty soon, within the first hour and a half of me getting up, I go to the park, I go and have a walk, I get some sunlight if it's available. Usually it's not. Um, and if that is the minimum that I can do that day, then I know that I've got out and I've moved my body. Recently, I've also started to go to the gym. I've never been a gym kind of person. I've always found it like quite artificial and like just didn't really like the vibe of being in a gym. And my partner actually has um sparked an interest in me being at the gym. I went to the gym with him once and actually found it like really fun. And my body responded really well for it. So now I checked in and was like, do you want to go to the gym? Is this a good vibe for you? And the answer was yes. So now I started to go to the gym. I've become really interested in movements. I like how it makes my body feel. So don't just do anything, like check in with your body. Like, is this agreeing with me? Do I like the way this feels? Am I reaping rewards from this? Do I feel good? It's really important to feel good in the things that you are doing. Or if, for example, they are hard and they don't feel good in the moment, to kind of reflect on, is there going to be a reward afterwards? Because going to do physical exercise is hard for a lot of people, or just most people. Sometimes we don't want to do it. But when we think about longevity and things in the long term, how beneficial it can be. So sometimes we can feel like, does this feel good in the moment? And sometimes we have to feel the outcome of the moment. So yeah, I took more of an interest in getting enough physical exercise, movement, resistance in my body. I feel great. My body is like more toned up. Um, just moving your body, if it is yoga, if it is dance that you prefer, it doesn't matter. Just start moving your body. Energy wants to flow. You have a flow of energy going through you. Your blood needs to flow through you. Your heart pumps the blood through your body, so it always wants to move. You have a lymphatic drainage system, which I'll talk about in another video, but your body is functioning in that way. And when you move your body, you assist your body in that function. And it also, like, the the idea of moving your body is like moving life. So I noticed that when I started to exercise more and my body was responding well to it and I was enjoying what I'm doing, it kind of kickstarts your day. So then you have more movement in your life. I've noticed that since I've started to exercise regularly, um the things that I'm doing or the thoughts that I'm having are more like there's more movement going on in my life, um rather than when I wasn't exercising as much. It's kind of like a still lake and things feel very still. So just keep that in mind if you're interested. I can see definitely the link between exercising and the events that are going on in your life, because it encourages the movement, it gives you a momentum. So yeah, I would say be interested in your health, and also in your nutrition, the things that you are eating. Limit your processed foods completely. I would say just take them out, and eat plenty of fruits and vegetables. You choose whatever, like, proteins you want to eat. I started to up my protein recently. That's been really nice, a nice addition for me personally. I've been drinking a lot more herbal teas. I've cut out coffee a lot. Sometimes I have coffee, but sometimes, like, it's just about like checking in, like, what does my body need right now? And if it needs sugary foods and if it needs sweets and stuff, that's okay. But we know that those things are full of chemicals and aren't there for your best interest. They're just there for a temporary moment for you to feel good. But underneath those choices are a dialogue that we need to have with ourselves. Like, why am I making these kinds of choices? Is it just a one-off because it's fun, or am I constantly moving towards foods and not wanting to move my body, or not wanting to participate in this because there's a deeper story behind why I don't want to have the best life for me? So that was another one, was health. So how I started was I just checked in with my body, like, and just says my body said I want to move. So I just started to move my body. It wasn't that easy. I had to start very slowly and just doing things for like 5 minutes or 1 minute and just kind of get into it, because there's a part of you that won't want to do it because, like, it just wants to keep things the same. And, like, always check in with that part of you, because, like, the way that our body and our brain and our mechanisms operate is that it wants to protect you, it wants to keep everything the same. So we need to kind of like have a way to make that part of us, that its job is to make us feel safe and keep things the same, to introduce new things to it and say, this is a safe thing. We can take it slowly. We can just do 1 minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, so I can show you that this is safe and this is where I want to take this. So I just checked in with my body. What do I want to do? My body told me I want to exercise more. I want to move more. And so slowly I started to increment that in. My body told me I want to feel more alive. So slowly I started to do things that would reflect that. I've been taking vitamin D. I've been taking more vitamins. I don't plan to take vitamins the whole time, but at that point I felt like, oh, I think I need to supplement myself in having more vitamin D, or more vitamin, like magnesium or anything like that. It's completely up to you. And then also looking at the foods that you consume, making sure that they are foods that are optimized in vitamins and minerals, and be interested in that, because you're feeding yourself life. Okay, so that is for your health. And I think the last one, I'm just going to do 3 today, um, is being obsessed with yourself and being interested in why you do things, what you want, how you want to get there. And like, I know from my experience is that confronting yourself or facing yourself is really hard. And what I've learned in a year is that my body will tell me when something is off and will tell me when it wants to deal with something. And you have to kind of learn your body, like how it sends messages to you, because they can feel very the same. It can just feel like discomfort, and you have to be the one to be checking in and be like, I feel this, what is going on, what is it that you're trying to tell me or you're trying to show me or what wants to be expressed. And I mentioned in the last video different ways to have emotional releases, and ways to connect with your body to find out what it is that it wants to come through when you feel discomfort. And a way to do this is by doing inner work. And by doing inner work is basically, like I just said, is feeling a discomfort in your body or noticing a certain behavior that you don't like and reflecting it back to you. So what I have been doing a lot is seeing something that I don't like, or someone doing something or saying something to me that I don't like, and then kind of like blaming them for it. And that wasn't really getting me anywhere. So what has helped me is by listening to what that person has said. Maybe I can feel hurt by it, but then going back and being like, why was I hurt by what that person has said to me? Why was I hurt by this situation happening? Why was I hurt when this person showed up late to um, our date or whatever? And being interested in your reactions, because your reactions are the signals to show you where there is energy isn't flowing uh, very well. And it is our responsibility to tune in and do inner work about it. So inner work is basically an observation. So you observe what is going on in front of you or what is going on inside of you, and you start asking why. Why do I feel this? What is it that I need? How can I improve this? If, for example, you have a family member who you don't get on with, or you're in a situation where you don't feel liked, or you're in a situation where you feel like you want more from life, sit down and ask yourself, what is it that I'm holding back? How can I feel better about this situation? What is this situation trying to tell me? And you have to be in a space where you can actually be honest with yourself. You're doing it with yourself. And it's harder to do it with someone else, because someone else might judge you, or someone else is you don't feel comfortable expressing yourself fully, but it's just you and you. And that's what makes it easier, but it still feels kind of hard to do it, to be completely honest with yourself. That's what inner work is. It's just being completely honest with yourself. So the way that I do this is like, I have a situation where like I'm not really feeling fulfilled in the way that my life is going. I want to have more. I want to experience more. So I would write something like this. What am I feeling honestly about the situation that I'm in right now? And I write the answer. How would I prefer it to go? And then I write the answer. What do I need to change about my energy to have that outcome? And that's another thing about inner work, is that it isn't about persuading or about telling someone or changing the situation on the outside. You have to change the energy that you feel on the inside before it shows up on the outside. And I find that in the past year and a half or year and a little bit, that the best transformations that I have made is the transformations that I've made internally. And then just naturally, it will manifest externally. But I have to believe it wholeheartedly. I have to keep going at it internally, no matter what anyone says or what's happening on the external realm. You have to believe in it. You have to be honest with yourself about what you've done or what you haven't done or how you feel or what's holding you back. And you have to have grace with yourself. You have to be gentle with yourself, but at the same time, be honest with yourself. Because when you're honest with yourself, you're going to start meeting people that are going to be honest with you, because you want to be authentic. You're going to meet more authentic people. You're going to have more experiences that are authentic to you. So I would really fully subscribe doing inner work. I do my inner work by asking myself questions, just using like a pen and a pad and sitting down and just kind of journaling how it is that I'm feeling. I really tap into the sensations in my body and ask those sensations, what wants to come through me? What are you looking for? What is your desire? Why are you choosing not to have this option? Why are you choosing? I use different types of questions to question why I'm making certain types of decisions or not making certain types of decisions, not in a judgmental way, but just to see what comes out. And you take the first answer. Don't go back and be like, oh, I don't know where this is coming from. It's coming from you. So whatever the answer that you came up with is the right answer. Before I started to write things down or ask myself honest questions, I was just feeling like a bit uneasy and panicked by life. And doing inner work has enabled me to be honest with myself and ultimately to God in a way that I could not be honest with the people around me because they were judging me or because they were mean to me or because they were trying to persuade me to do something that wasn't in alignment with myself. So the best person that you have to trust is actually yourself. So start to exercise doing this inner work about tricky situations that are going on in your life that you want to change, even if it's not tricky, just things that are coming up for you. When I say coming up for you, I mean like when you feel hurt, or where you feel a weird sensation, or you feel like something isn't going right or something feels off. Start to question yourself about it, because ultimately and unfortunately it is something that we are doing or that we are not doing, or an energy that we are cultivating that is providing this type of situation to play out. And that's okay, because life is elastic. We're able to change it, but we have to change the energy first. And this is one way that I use inner work and journaling as a way to kind of see the situation from what it is and really put onto paper, like, how do I really feel about this? And then take it from there. And then you can kind of like make choices. Like I said in the beginning, like, opposites are okay. You're able to see that you're not happy with this situation, or why do I do this, or why do they do this? And always talk about, reflect back to yourself, what do I want from a situation? How do I now want to emanate something different so that I can receive on the physical realm this thing that I actually want, rather than keep perpetuating this thing that I don't want. It is hard. It is really hard. I'm not going to lie. And like, every day I have to be more and more honest with myself about things. And it can be really daunting, but it's really fun when you start to see that you're brave enough and you're courageous enough and you can do it. And you have to be on your own side before anyone else can. Okay, so to summarize, the first thing is that opposites are okay. Be in a neutral energy about opposite things. So if you're, for example, feeling like you don't have enough money, or you don't have enough support, or you don't have enough friends, or you don't have the love of your life, or you don't have the love that you want, that has to be okay. Otherwise, we kind of create a kind of pressurized energy about it, and we label it as being bad or wrong. It's okay. It's just the start of the kind of manifestation period where you are aware that you don't like something. That's the first phase, and that's great. And then we move on to choosing what is preferred, what we would prefer, rather than saying one is right and one is bad and one is good and one is wrong. We have to like move away from that, because it doesn't, if you check in with your body, it doesn't feel good in your body. It makes us feel strange. And so we can feel that strangeness, and then we can be honest with ourselves, and then we can choose something different. The next point was about our health, becoming more interested in your health, becoming more interested in movement and exercise. I almost like think that it is a must if you can. And if you feel like, oh, I'm in pain a lot, or I'm not so able-bodied, do whatever you can just to get that movement going on in your body and help your body out, become unified with your body. Inside your body, your cells are doing everything that they can to help you and to support you. And like, we have to remember that we're always being supported. They work in union together. There's so much like synchronicity going on inside of us, and like automatic things like blinking and breathing, and they are defending their white blood cells that are defending like any intruders right now while I speak. And you moving your body can help that process a lot more, so that you can maintain or excel in more health. And also taking an interest in your nutrition. Also, if you're smoking a lot, or if you are indulging in things that are obviously like not very good for you, asking yourself, like, why do I do this? Why do I continue to do this? Do I want to stop? And if you don't, then that's fine. But if you do want to stop, become interested in why we make certain decisions. Become obsessed with yourself, in essence, like, especially if it's things that we don't like. And then just create a really nice relationship with yourself where you value your health. And then, yeah, so doing things like movement, start very small. Maybe it's just a few seconds or a few minutes, and start introducing to do more movement that you enjoy into your life and incorporate it. And then the last point was doing inner work. So observing how you feel, having a communication with yourself, writing things down when you feel challenged by life, or when things are nagging at you, or when you're just feeling off and funky. Just like finding the time to ask yourself, why do I feel like this? What is going on? And be honest with yourself. Start being honest with yourself, because it's okay. No one else is there listening. It's just you. It's just you. It's just you and God. And you can be as honest as you like. And you can ask for things, and you can want things to be different. And you have to know that you are the one that is responsible, or God is the one, and you are God, that is responsible for those changes being made. I mentioned that doing inner work I do in my journal. So I will come up with questions like, what do I feel right now? What is it that I want to do? What is it that I don't like? And just kind of like, what can I, what do I need to embody to feel or do or be or see this thing as differently? And it is really hard. And sometimes you have to sacrifice things in a way, like you have to stop doing things, or you have to start doing things, or you have to be open to things feeling uncomfortable, and you have to try it out. You know, if you feel guided to um, stop doing some stuff, like stop eating fast food, or stop uh, engaging in uh, conversations that are dead or not good or not nice, or moving away from certain people, you can face a conflict with yourself, like, why am I doing this? But they're actually really okay. But I really like to eat that kind of food. And that's up to you. But it's just to make the start and experimenting, like, and also that it's okay to like fall back, not to like string yourself up because you made a mistake or you did something wrong. Like, have grace. God has so much grace for us. We're already forgiven. It's just we have to move from a good heart, and God wants the best for you. That's why you want the best for you, and you're aware when something doesn't feel right, because you have that in you. So doing inner work is really, really important. And those three things have really helped me within this past year. I will end the video here. I hope that you enjoyed it and you got something of value from it. And I will see you another time. Bye.